Welcome to the Q&A episode. We've got a couple questions from you guys. If you want to leave us one, go to the website, Bulletproof for BJJ.com, hit the podcast tab and record us a voicemail. You can ask us a question about anything, gym politics, strength mobility, jiu-jitsu culture, whatever the fuck you want. Here is the first question, anonymous.
Of course.
Always.
Hey fellas, this is Ben Hannawell,
Ooh.
back from the dead, coming to eat your brains. Anyway, I just suffered from cardiac arrest, came back to life thanks to my girlfriend and a bunch of medical professionals, and shortly after that I was implanted with a pacemaker and a defibrillator.
Serious.
And I was just wondering if you knew anybody who that had happened to, and what happened with their jiu-jitsu and their fitness life, how they got back into it, you know. So any advice you could provide or any perspective you could provide from somebody you know who's gone through the same thing, I'd really appreciate it. In any case, as always, I appreciate the Bulletproof for Jiu-Jitsu program, and it's been a positive influence in my life, and I want it to continue to be so. And while I can't be lifting things and being hench, I'm still gonna be making myself as mobile as possible until I can get back to it. Anyway, thanks, fellas. Peace.
My guy.
Ben Hannawell, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Bro, it's so dramatic.
That's huge.
It's been in the side chat.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty devastating considering he's a man monument, and the uncertainty around what he can and can't do has been, I guess, more resolved now. I won't go into it super deeply, but I do know someone specifically who has a pacemaker who I used to train with, Nick Barker, who runs Grappling Industries Australia now instead of Ben Hodgkinson.
Oh, yeah.
He still trains. He still rolls. Probably not super hard rolls, or I think because he had it put in 8 years ago or 9 years ago now. He might be a little laissez-faire from time to time. He might just be like, yeah, just roll, like classic jiu-jitsu guy. But he trains. I think the fear when Ben first mentioned this was, I'm done. Jiu-jitsu's over now. I'm fucked, right? Because the doctor's like, don't lift weights, don't do this, don't do that. There's a lot of fear. Because, I have questions. Did you go to the other side? Did you see the light?
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy experience to literally, go and come back. But what I'd say is take heart. It's not the end. It's not the end. You can do jiu-jitsu with a pacemaker or a regulator of sorts, depending. I don't know the exact nature of yours. And you can come back and you will eventually be doing weights and doing some other things too. So I don't think it's the end of the henchness. So in the meantime, obviously do what the doctor and the surgeons say. But based off what I know from Nick and how he lives his life, you'll be able to be a healthy, fit, strong man soon enough.
Yeah, for context for listeners, Ben's been a long time bulletproofer.
Yes.
Big contributor on our community group. Asks great questions. Man's got a voice for radio.
And got a voice for movie intros.
Yeah, he's come in. He's hit us on the Q&A a few times. He's always asked good quality stuff. I've known a couple of people. I know one guy, Big Dedek, who used to train here. I don't know, but he had open heart surgery.
Right.
He had some shit going on. They opened him up. Had some pretty heavy duty stuff done, and he had a year or two where it was low intensity training only.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that he's at a point where he can now get back into whatever he wants.
Wow.
My original coach, Dan, who graded me to brown belt, he had a pacemaker put in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that coincided with him closing the gym, and I'm not sure how it affected him because I sort of lost touch with him at that point. But look, my view is totally the same as yours. In this early stage, you got to be conservative. You got to listen to the professionals. But then at a point, it's you're probably going to be able to just go back to whatever, because the reality is like, here's an example I have. I got a friend who used to train with us who came to our gym when he'd broken his back. He broke his back at a trampoline park.
Oh, Jesus.
Broke his spine, right?
Oh, my God.
Was in a full body cast.
Whoa.
Like, yeah. And was in a full body cast for like 3 months. It was really bad. He came to our gym maybe 6 months after that and was like, hey, man, I'm a mess, but I want to do something. The doctor told me I would never be able to lift anything heavier than a case of beer again.
Wow.
And you're like, wow, that's f***ed. And you're like, I can see how that makes sense. Like, you broke your back. It's kind of whatever, they've screwed the shit back together, but yeah, you can never go too hard. Motherfucker was deadlifting 160 kilos for reps after 3 years training with us, right?
Wow.
And full capacity, surfing, whatever he wants to do, he can do it. Like,
Yeah.
probably has forgotten about that injury, right? And that's kind of the thing, is that they give you those recommendations, which must be conservative and are based on the average person.
Yeah.
But there's always more bandwidth.
There is.
And it becomes apparent once you get past this acute time of the injury where it's like, no, you can actually get back into shit. And I don't know, maybe there is a limitation that you can't go fucking balls to the wall at the comp prep class for ADCC.
Sure.
But you can still do jiu-jitsu, man.
You can. And I actually think this is the first step in terms of you becoming a cyborg. I think it's perfect. I think you have an unfair advantage. You've got something in you that limits your ability for your heart rate to go high. I think you'll be able to go hard and be recovered quicker because you've got mechanical enhancement. So I would actually look at it like, actually, what happens next? Like, maybe this is going to become a trend in jiu-jitsu that elite athletes are getting in.
I want what he's got.
Yeah, he's got the heart regulator so he never gets tired because his heart rate never goes over 80 beats per minute. Imagine. No, look, shout out to Mr. Ben Hannawell. We wish you well, mate. And I know that you are on the comeback. So, yeah, you'll be good, mate. I have great faith that you'll be back to where you want to be.
And there is a silver lining in every injury.
This is true.
I had this conversation with a member of the gym this morning. It's always fucking sucks because of all the things you can't do, but that only serves to narrow your focus on the things that you can do.
Can do.
And that's a chance to get really good at those things.
Something else.
Yeah. Big love, man.
You know what I love? When someone shares a secret with me, and that secret is helpful. And the secret that I'm going to share with you today is the new flavor from Sodi. I'm talking about mandarin. I didn't think there was fresher flavors, but I'm telling you that mandarin, it hit different. Not only does it give me sodium, potassium, magnesium to keep my muscles pumping, it gives me the chef's kiss of freshness. And I cannot recommend it enough. Now, if you want to get yourself some new flavors, they also have kiwi. You need to go to Sodi, SODII.com.au and use the code Bulletproof15 to get 15% off, get fresh, and get that flavor. Oof.
Jake.
Hey, Jake here, 4-stripe white belt. Enjoy the podcast. Just wanted to ask you, just done a couple of competitions, and where I live we have two main organisations. The one does weigh-ins either the day before or in the morning. The other competition does weigh-ins in the just before your fight. I'd love to hear some tips on what you recommend doing different between these two kind of competitions and how you find it. Nice one. Thanks.
Jake, legend.
Okay, yes.
All right, so two different comps. Weigh in the night before or the morning of. And then the other one is weigh in right before you step on for your first match.
Now, this comes back to what I would say is depending on your natural weight where you sit, what I have found is for most people, they're either kind of bang in the middle or they're close to an upper category or a lower category, whatever it might be. And so in that way, if you like the competition format where you have to weigh in on the day, which is an IBJJF approach, you want to sit as close to the natural weight. Like you want your natural weight as close to the upper end of your weight category as it can be.
Yeah.
Whereas that day before comp, whatever that format is, that is one where maybe, you might consider there could be some athletic advantages in getting your weight down, maybe in a way that's like maybe not super sustainable, but whether you're in a sauna or you're doing water loading or whatever you're doing to cut that weight and then feed up the night before and then come in monstrous the next day. Because if you don't, some other motherfucker will.
Come in looking like Gleason T-Bow.
Bro. Good. Because I've had that before where I didn't cut for a judo comp and a big guy did, like a 105 guy cut to 90.
Oh, wow.
And and oh my God. Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ. Huge motherfuckers, right? And it was just, that wasn't a federated comp. They just said, it was for convenience. They did the weigh-in the day before. Typically, they do on the day.
Right.
But, mate, that was big trouble. So that's my advice, that if you like a particular style of comp, that you would want to come in somewhere near the top of your weight category. It is an advantage. That's what I say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I got a slightly different take on it, Jake, which is going off my personal experience, whereby I had a coach back when I used to compete a lot, which was like white to purple belt, and he would always be talking about the weight thing and where's your weight at, and you want to drop down, and and always kind of like that was part of competing, was like, where's your weight going to be and how are we leveraging this? And I just found for me, it was an extra stress in those early days that I just didn't need. And I remember showing up to a lot of comps being like half starved because I was right on the edge and you're nervous and it's comp day and like, you don't need going in like with only a little bit of food and a little bit of water is shit, right? Because
It's bad prep.
Yeah. And it's like on top of all the other shit you're worried about. And to be honest, it never made that. I don't think at the divisions, at the standard jiu-jitsu I was doing, it never made that much of a difference.
Sure.
And so for you at a 4-stripe white belt, I'm like, probably doesn't matter, man. Like I would just go with what feels comfortable. And to that point, I would choose the division that you naturally sit at so that you can comfortably eat and drink and be hydrated and well rested, come into the comp. And then if you've got to go against some that's a bit bigger, so what? You'll be faster than them.
True.
That said, though, you might also be like, no, I want to take every advantage I can get. And, those people are out there. And if you do come from a culture like we know with wrestling or judo and stuff, where like cutting is a part of the competition, that's something worth considering. I remember my coach back then doing shit like we did an episode today where we were talking about coaches getting injured, right?
Sure.
And we're saying how what the coach does influences what the students do.
Definitely, yeah.
And I remember going to the Asian Championships and we weighed in, I think, I was a blue belt, he was a brown belt. We weighed in sometime the morning of, it's not before your first fight, but it's a couple hours before. Or it could be a couple, could be 6, depending on where your match is that day. But him having to go and like run laps with a plastic bag on or whatever around the outside of the Budokan in Tokyo to like sweat out some weight. And I'm like, you're dehydrating yourself before your first match and you're like, I just got to win this first match.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, he might have, but it's just so fucking stupid.
It makes no logical sense in that way. I mean, look, for Taekwondo, weight cutting was definitely a part of it, but what they did with black belts is you had to weigh in the morning and then the black belts weren't on till like the end of the day. So you kind of had the whole day to
hydrate.
Get ready. But if you're a white belt, you like weighed in and then you competed. But at international competition, weigh-in was day before. So everybody was at the sauna. If there was one sauna in that little German town or in the hotel, every motherfucker was there. Yeah. And it was romanticized. Like, oh, how much weight can I cut and then eat and drink and then come in the next day, behemoth. That was a big part of the culture for Taekwondo, actually, for at least international competition. So it was quite interesting to me to, like similar to what you're saying, Joe, just come in feeling good, fed, happy, and then just put all your energy on the line. I definitely feel that until you've done a fair bit of competing, and look, you may be very experienced, even as a 4-stripe white belt, that feeling good and being full of energy will have a more positive impact on your jiu-jitsu than just,
having a slight weight advantage.
Yes.
Yeah, but being a ball of nerves.
Yeah, that's it. Because that happens to you regardless.
Yeah. So better to just like limit the amount of anxious energy to just the fact that you're about to compete.
There was a guy I knew, just a disaster story on weight cutting, who was fucking with these diuretics, and he would just swore by him. You know, he got these diuretic pills. He got them off his brother, and he just like, it was like pretty strong shit. He's like, trust me, man.
Like speed pills or some shit?
Oh no, you just like, you have it the night before, and when you wake up in the morning, it just clears you out. You'll drop kilos. Except the like, I think for whatever, because of his diet, it kind of didn't work. Like, he'd used it a fair bit. He was kind of relying on it. But the day it was before the Pan Packs, he'd taken a pill the night before, and the next day it didn't hit. So he took another one that morning, and then and then just before warm up, he was like running to the bathroom and had a disaster before he could get to the toilet. And so he only brought one gi.
Shat himself.
He couldn't even compete because he shut the
God. That's the worst.
Oh, God, poor sucker. So, man, like, there can be a lot of disasters when you're playing with your weight. And, ultimately, you want to focus on the skill, you know.
Yeah,
there it is, folks.
Hey, good questions today. Big love to Ben. I wish you all the best on that, bro. We're always here for you.
Here for you.
Thank you for the questions. If you want to leave us a question for a future episode, go to the website, bulletproof@bjj.com. Hit the podcast tab and record us a voicemail. We love to hear from you guys. Also, give us your name. Tell us where you're from, because we love connecting the dots on where these questions are coming in from. It means a lot. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Shoot.